this specific section was what kind of rang the bell for me, if you will, around 722 and wanting to do this, have this discussion. And the what we're going to be talking about, so it's around seismic loads, and very clearly in 722 there's this call out. So we have this quote at the top there: solar panels shall not be considered as part of the load path resistant interconnection force unless the panels have been evaluated or tested for such loading. So there's some really key language in there that the panelists we were talking about, but on kind of a step back high level, what we're looking at is ASCE saying very, very clearly that unless it's been tested or evaluated for such, we can't use the module as that load path to transfer the loads. And so I think this is something, we've been doing in the industry, and it's now in 722. I think this is going to be one of the biggest disruptors, I guess you could say, within the industry. So, I'll let you guys talk about it, since you're, you have a much better view of it, I would say, in terms of the actual application. And so I think one of the big things is, how we're going to see roof mounted, especially ballasted systems. And so we're showing a panel cloth system here where it's a grid type system. So I think we can say, in a general sense, I'm not calling any one manufacturer out, but in a general sense, those that are using this grid type situation, it's going to be easier to meet these 722 requirements than one that is using the module. So
I completely agree with Paymon. The code is a little ambiguous with the evaluated or tested methodology they mention. So it could lead it up to the AHJ to determine whether they will require testing or an evaluation. But it's still clear to me that the most straightforward method would be to avoid this section, if at all possible, by selection of a grid-based system, which does not require this clause because they transfer load through other means of the rails or the racking itself. But if you were to use a different system, it would need to be a conversation with the HJ on whether a test is required or an evaluation could be used.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. When we first saw this come out, it was kind of scary. The first thought is like, are we going to have to test every single module with our ballasted system that only utilize a bay? So we have grid-based system, but we also have just a ballasted bay system. But I think the key is the wording evaluated or tested. So we've been actually performing testing for, I'd say, almost a year now, and have collected a lot of data on this, that we're confident we can go with the evaluation method. And like Matt said, again, it's going to be probably HJs are going to interpret the evaluation differently.